Welcome back. Today I'm going to solve some low-rated custom puzzles on chess.com. I've done it several times lately and I think it's helping because a lot of times when I lose in my games, it's not because I don't know how to checkmate with just a rook, or it's not because I haven't memorized the first 5 moves of my opening. It's because of some middle game tactics. And sometimes the really advanced puzzles that I've been working on don't contain those tactics. A lot of times they're these simple ones that I'm missing. If you're new to my channel, I'm not a titled player or a chess coach. I'm just a random person trying to get better at chess. In other words, this channel is for me. I'm practicing getting better at chess and just clicking record. And the hope is that you also get something out of that or can contribute something to my development, which many of you have, and I really do appreciate it. And I appreciate you spending your time here. So without any further introduction, let's just click. I think I selected rating level 100 to 300. And I'm going to do 2 or 3 at each level and then just move up. These are usually fairly easy. I'm playing with the black pieces. I think this is just a checkmate here after they block with the rook. Okay. Interestingly, it wasn't mate in 2. I'm going to add the theme mate in 2. It says one of the themes is pin. I guess the bishop was technically pinned at the beginning. Okay. I'm not going to mess with the themes. In fact, I really should try to ignore them for the most part. I just hate it when I know they're incorrect. Next. Okay, I'm playing with the white pieces. It looks like, again, I have a back rank checkmate here. The bishop will have to block, and then I will take it. I just heard some banging outside, and it was starting to distract me, and then I remembered that today is trash day in our neighborhood, and so that's probably the trash truck picking up those things. Yes, I'm one of those people that gets distracted by minor noises in the distance. That's just the way that I am. I try not to let it bother me. Oh, wow. We only have a bishop and a knight left plus those pawns. Well, we can't checkmate with just a knight, and he can't checkmate with just a bishop, so we know it's going to come down to these pawns. It looks like I should check and then win the bishop, and then I'll be able to go get that pawn. It doesn't make sense to do anything else, does it? You can't protect the bishop, so I'm just going to win it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, that one was simple. Let's go back and get the next level up here. 300 to, let's say 500. And we'll do 3 at that level and then keep going. I'm playing with the white pieces. Okay. This one also looks like I have a checkmate on the back rank. They're not defending that square, and then this will be checkmate here. All right. I do like the easy ones, and I probably should skip on up, but this is kind of a warm-up, I guess, and before I move up to slightly harder ones. Okay. Well, I can just win that rook for free, or I could take their queen, right? I'm playing with the white pieces. Well, they've got pieces hanging everywhere. If I take their queen, then they'll get mine. So I should take their rook first. But let's look for checks first. Are there any checks? I mean, I can actually check on those 3 squares with my queen, but that's not a good idea. And I cannot check with any other pieces. So I'm pretty sure that my solution has to be taking the rook. Then if they try to escape here, I will take their queen. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but yeah. I don't know how in the world they got over there in that situation. That sure looked like a made-up puzzle, not a position from an actual game. But we do get some pretty unusual positions in actual games, don't we? All right, my opponent is getting close to checkmating me, but if I'm playing with the black pieces, I have a checkmate now. All right, mate in 1. Okay, I think those were even easier than the previous level. Let's bump this up. We'll change this to 500 to 700 and do 3 at this level. All right. Again, let's start with checks. I do have a check here with the bishop on e6, and then it looks like I would just get the other rook too, right? Can it be that easy? Because I mean, they're going to fairly easily move out of check. They'll have 3 choices to get out of check at that point. I don't think it would make sense to check it again then, because they would just move out of check, and then I would lose the opportunity to get the other bishop of the other rook. I think I'm just going to take both rooks. Right? Because I can check safely here, but they can get out of it pretty easily. I mean, 3 different ways, right? I don't think they would go there because then I would have a really cool discovery to come back here and win the queen. But if they go here, then my bishop is stuck defending the rook. So I think I just take the other rook. Okay. That was unfortunate that the opponent left their rooks on that diagonal, both of them. All right, I am playing with the black pieces. Let's see if we have any checks. I do have a check right there. Oh, that's just checkmate because my bishop's behind it. Okay, mate in 1. We can add that theme and go on to the next one. Here also, mate in 1. Is that the same exact diagonal? That's checkmate. Okay, again, we will add the theme mate in 1. That puzzle probably should be rated 100. Okay, let's change this rating from 700 to 900. I don't know why I decided to do odd numbers today. Well, they're not really odd, are they? They're hundreds. Those are even numbers, but you know what I mean. I'm playing with the black pieces. Again, we'll look for checks first. I do have a check with the rook, but the bishop, I think, would take. I have a check with the pawn, which I see that I have a check with the knight too, but it's unusual that I check with the pawn. And in that case, the king would be driven back to one of those two squares, in which case I could check again. Oh no, not if it went there, because then the king would just take the rook. Okay, so yeah, if he went there, then what would I have? If I check with the knight first and the king goes there, then I can check again with the rook, protected by the knight, and win the bishop. If the king moves over to g4, I think the same thing. I win the bishop this way, I'm pretty sure. Right, and then the king has multiple ways of getting out of this check, but the bishop is gone. Very nice. Fork double attack. Well, that last bit was, okay. I forked the king and the bishop. Black pieces. Do I have checks? In this puzzle, I do not have a check to start out with. Let's see. Oh, I can take this rook, though. Oh, but then the pawn comes in. Or the other rook. But wait, if the other rook takes at that point, I could just take the rook. And then if the pawn took back, I would take that rook too. It looks like I should just take that rook with my bishop. I'm pretty sure, because if I take it with my rook and they do, wait, that would be the same thing, wouldn't it? What would be the difference? Because the outcome would be the same. Maybe not necessarily, but okay, what other options do they have here? Well, here I'm not attacking their rook at that point, and then my bishop would be pinned. Oh, and then when the pawn takes, it's check. But still, I'm going to take back. Either way. Well, then I don't know which one to do. The only difference that is really obvious is that if I take with the rook first, I am attacking their rook, and I think that strongly encourages them to take back. Whereas if I go with the bishop first, I'm not attacking their rook, and they could do something else with it. I don't know what they could do, but they could do something. Oh, they could even maybe put their bishop here, threatening my rook. Okay, so I think I'm going to take with the rook first, although this one's throwing me a little bit, and I might be wrong. If I am wrong, we'll find out why on the analysis board. But it's one of those two. It has to be, since I don't have any checks, that's the only capture that makes any sense. I can't attack their bishop. Their bishop isn't attacking anything of mine. I don't think it makes sense to move this rook over or push a pawn. I mean, I could move my bishop up and attack that rook, but then I assume they're going to hit me, and I'll hit them, and they'll hit me. That seems a lot more complicated. I'm just going to take the rook. Yeah, that was wrong. Okay, well then it was probably the bishop, right? It was the bishop. And okay, so why didn't it work the other way? That's the question. Let's go to the analysis board. Some of you may already know why it didn't work the other way, but I don't. Taking with the rook keeps us even, whereas taking with the bishop gives me an advantage. Why is that? It says because if I take here, they're going to take with the pawn, but then I'm going to take with the bishop, right? But they're not going to take back and lose their rook. Okay, I think that's the answer here, that at the end they don't need to take with the rook and lose it too. So we end up with an almost even amount of material. I have one extra pawn. But the other way, if I take with the bishop first, they've already lost a rook and they're already down material. And when they take here and I take back, the puzzle should have stopped there. It's not one of their top 5 moves to take back like they did in the puzzle. But what happened here is that I went up the exchange. I got rid of their rook and a pawn for my bishop. But yeah, they definitely shouldn't have taken back. They should have saved this rook by, say, going after the pawn. And it says I would leave that. I would not try to protect that pawn. Oh no, that pawn's already protected. Then why did they go after it? I don't know. But it's my best move just to play a5, even though they're guarding the promotion square. I'm surprised I'm up -3 here in an actual endgame at my level, where I have 2 rooks and they have a rook and a bishop. If we're evenly matched, it's going to be really difficult for me to win this. That should probably be rated a little higher than 850 because both of those options seemed so even. But that's what we're doing. We're learning. We're getting better. I do have a check here, and then the king will have to move over, then I will check, and then they will take, and then I will check with my rook, and that's mate because my bishop is guarding that getaway square. I am pretty sure. That's checkmate, and it doesn't say that, but it is. It's checkmate in 3. 3 plus, all right. Okay, well, let's go up to the next level. 900 to 1100. I think in the past, this is where it has started to get a little bit sticky sometimes. But it seems like it was more in the 12 to 1400 range where I started having really difficult puzzles. The kind where I have no idea what my first move should be. But let's see what we get. All right, I am playing with the white pieces. I'm not sure why this one's rated higher than those others. Isn't this a checkmate in one? My rook's cutting off all of this, and my queen would be protected by the pawn. I think that's mate in one. It was a mate in one. Sorry, I had to pause it because the banging outside got a lot worse, and it didn't, so I went and checked. Well, our garbage truck that the city sends has one of those arms that remote controlled that picks up the bin and dumps it in the truck. Well, what the guy had done was knocked down our trash bin and was trying to use that arm to pick it back up, and it kept dropping. So I'm hearing that ba-bum-bum, ba-bum-bum. And finally, he got out of the truck and set it up by hand. I'm surprised he didn't just leave it laying down there, which is what usually happens. The exciting adventures of my neighborhood. Yeah, that one was surprisingly easy, but I guess maybe some people don't see those. Maybe I wouldn't have seen it a year ago. I don't know. Let's go on to the next one. What happened? What? Oh, I guess my queen was attacking the rook, so they just moved it over one. I do have a check. It's this one, but wouldn't they, if they took with the rook and I took back, that's not a check. So I don't know if that's good. Is that my only check? Or, I mean, yeah, because that's not a check. That's just taking a pawn. This is the kind, again, it looks like a made-up puzzle to me. The situation here does not feel like it's from a game, but again, maybe it is. I know we get unique positions every time we play a chess game out beyond so many moves, but I definitely need to figure out what the best move is. The engine is going to say one of them is better, and that's, as far as I know, my only check in this position. Do I have any captures? I can't capture the rook or the bishop. I can capture that pawn. I think that's my only capture in this position. My bishop is pinned, so I cannot bring the bishop to the party. I also don't think I can attack the rook. I can't move over here to attack the rook because their bishop's there. One thing I did think of was attacking their rook, because if their rook can't get out of that, but it could take mine. And then I would come here, because that's a check, and then they would have to move over, and then I would have mate protected by this rook. Should I try that? I don't think it works if I try the other one. Why do I think that? Oh, I just realized that rook's hanging right now. Oh, wow. Maybe I should try that one first then. What can they do, though? Well, then they wouldn't be able to take my rook anymore. If they did take here with their rook, then again, I would have this in a forced mate in the corner. So what else can they do? Because I'm threatening to basically just take their rook and then checkmate them. So that's a threat. Since I don't have good captures, and I'm pretty sure that this check that I first mentioned isn't good, because I just lose my queen. But you know what? I didn't follow it out, did I? They take it. I could check then, but then they drop back to defend, and I've just lost my queen, because we can, trade each other's pieces there, but my bishop's still pinned. They still have all these pieces pointed at me. So yeah, I don't think that check is good. Okay, so what about this threat? If they can't take it, so they have to do something else. I mean, they can take it. That's what I want them to do. That's why I'm putting it down there. I want them to take it so I'll have mate, but that's why they won't take it. So they'll do something different. Will they check me with this bishop here? If so, I would just capture it, but then they would get my bishop, and then I would take their rook and have mate anyway. I don't know, and I don't see anything else, so I'm going to try it. That wasn't it. All right, what was it? Let's click the hint button. It was taking the pawn, which isn't check. Okay. I have only 2 legal moves, and I don't think that's a good one, so this... Wait, that was it? Well, again, we'll go to the analysis board and try to figure out what's going on in this situation. Okay, yeah, wait. Oh, it's their move. Okay, what they should have done was taken this bishop, not just moved up next to it. But because they moved up next to it, suddenly I have +9 if I take here, but not anything else. Okay, what was their answer if I did this? They were going to check me. Well, I thought that's what it was, and then I would just take it, right? Yep. Oh, but then they have this check, and it's mate in 2 if I block with the pawn, because then they'll come in here. So I would have to block with the queen, and they would take it, and I would take back, and then they would pick up that rook. I block with my queen. They take it. I take with my king is slightly better, surprisingly. Then they take this rook, and then I take this pawn. And black has a very slight advantage because 2 rooks for a rook and a bishop, even though I have a passed pawn, which I can very easily protect. But they're going to get this pawn immediately. Okay. And it says one of my better moves is to actually take here. Oh, because then I would pick up this rook. Wow. But bishop to b5 is slightly better. That's what I would play here to protect this pawn. since they were currently attacking it. But then they could check me here, like so, and it's going to be difficult for either one of us to win because I'm going to have a hard time advancing this passed pawn because they're going to play rook to e5, which means I can't push my pawn. So back here. That was my thing. And anything they do besides taking this bishop on f1 gives me a quick mating sequence. So like if they took here, oh, well, yeah, if they took here, okay, then I would have that. And what if they didn't take there, though? This is their next best move besides taking my bishop is checking here, and then I would take it, and then they would, now this isn't good for some reason. Oh, because my rook's there. Okay, so they would check here, but then I get to block with this protected by the rook. Okay. Yeah, that's difficult to see, and I'm still not sure that I do. I'm still not sure that I'm going to be able to see that. If I see this exact position in a game tomorrow, I don't know that I'll be convinced that that's best. Okay, so they take here. I take the rook. Their best move, that the only one that doesn't lead to me checkmating them is here, and I come out. That's the end of the puzzle. Oh, but now it's plus 33 because their absolute best move is to check me here. Okay, their bishop's protecting, and I'm going to take it, and they're going to take my queen. I'm going to take this rook, and they're going to take my rook, and then I'm going to get their bishop. Oh, good grief. Yeah, I don't have time to keep looking at that. That one is... It's only rated 940, but it's beyond me. Next. I have checks a couple of different ways. I don't know if either of those is best. I mean, this is fine. If they take back, then I can get this pawn with check and win their bishop. I think that's what it is. But I could be wrong. Let's find out. It was that, and that, and that. Oh, I got it right really quickly. That's the kind of ease I was expecting at the 940 level. Well, that's 3 at the 900 to 1100 range. Let's bump that up. 1100 to 1300 and start. Okay, lining up with my king. Let's look for checks first. I have a check with my knight. I think that's my only check. And my rook then will be cutting off the entire A file, so the king would not be able to get out of check that way. However, it could go forward, backward, or to its back rank. If it went to its back rank, then I would check them again with my rook and win their rook. So let's say it would not go to its back rank. Probably not, right? Let's say that it would move forward, then I could fork the king and the rook. So what if it moved back 1? Then again, I could fork the king and the rook. Either way, I'm winning the rook. So it's got to be that, right? Oh, wait, it went back there, so then I will do this. Oh, they blocked with the bishop. Sneaky. I didn't expect that. Oh, okay. Well, I can't check again. Right? None of the... Wait. I can take the bishop, and when they take back, I win their rook. Okay. That was a... Oh, what? Their king started off back there, and it's come all the way over here to attack my rook. Please tell me this was not a game between two grandmasters, because they have all these powerful pieces here. My king in the middle of the board, and they've brought their king all the way down here somehow. I don't know how it got past my queen and my king, but it got back here somehow, and it's attacking my rook. My goodness. I should be able to checkmate it, shouldn't I? Like, isn't that checkmate? That's mate in one? I should have found that faster, but it distracted me with all the shenanigans. That's not checkmate. What? Y'all help me out. What am I missing? Oh, because it can take the pawn. Oh my goodness. That's pretty bad. Oh my goodness. Oh, I thought it was checkmate, but that's my pawn. For some reason, I thought that was their pawn. And so my queen would be cutting off all of these and protecting the rook, and the rook would be protecting the queen. But that's my pawn. They can just take it. All right. Well, that wasn't it then. That's funny. What about over here? Oh, well, then they just moved. Well, then this? Okay. That's funny. But it was so backward because their king was over here, so I was thinking that was a pawn. Wait, why is there a little red? Can you see that on your screen? There's a little red dash down under the G. It's gone now. That's distracting. Yeah, I don't know why the little red dash showed up down there. Okay, I had to come this way and then checkmate with the rook. All right. Well, that makes total sense. I'll do one more at this level, and then my 30 minutes are up. Okay, let's look for checks. I do have a check with my knight. The king cannot come forward this way, but it could come forward this way. If it did, I could check with the rook, and I think that would be mate. Pretty sure, because the knight's protected and the pawn's covering the other square. That is mate. Okay. All right. Well, I think I got a little bit out of this. And if nothing else, I worked my chest muscles for today. Thank you for spending your time here. I'll see you next time.